Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, I've got some exciting new kits from Takom to share with you today. And immediately you guys are probably noticing the different backdrop right here. With the giant model collection that I purchased, I don't have room where I normally film to do the video. So I've come back to the little build area here where all the boxes are piled up, and I've kind of whittled out a little room with a table, and I can show you all this cool stuff right here. So that's why the different backdrop for a little while. But as you can see here, we have some really interesting kits. Very unusual kits on a few of these here that we are going to tear into and show you the parts inside. All three of these kits are due to arrive very soon. I hesitate to say an exact time because shipping is so messed up in the world right now, but they are produced at least, and they are hopefully on their way to us. We'll call it like that there. But as you can see, we've got probably the most unusual kit, the Yamato anchors that we're going to take a look at inside there, plus the new Sea Dart Sea Wolf missile system and the M60A1 there. And yes, yesterday I did a video. A few people asked, were you losing your voice? And yes, for some reason I was losing my voice. I've been talking so much to so many people. I came in and filmed the video yesterday morning and the voice kept going out on me. So I think it's back now. I hope. To me it sounds back, but you tell me down on below there. Enough talking about all that. Let's get started. And here we have probably one of the most unusual model kits I've seen in quite a while. This is a brand new one, soon to be released by Takom. The 1/16 scale Battleship Yamato, the World War II giant ship. This is just the 15-ton main anchor, as well as the smaller stern anchor. Now, at first off, you're like, well, what are we going to do with this? But this could create a great little display, because the Battleship Yamato is one of the best-selling model kits for ships around. I mean, so many companies have made it over the years, and it always continues to sell, even now. I mean, but this could be a great display piece to put alongside if you're creating a little display with the ship. You know, they have the turrets available now. They have the main turret off Yamato, and they're also coming out with one of the smaller turrets in a little larger scale too for detail. And this might go along with your little display of unusual Battleship Yamato accessories. So let's take a look at the plastic that is inside this kit. Now, as you can imagine, this is a very large pieces of plastic right here. To start off with, we have our the hook of the anchor, and then the shafts that make up. This is the 15-ton. Obviously, this is the smaller one, and these are the hooks on the smaller anchor as well. You, of course, will get the A and B side to this because you got to build up both sides, just like that. Actually, it's the same sprue, just flipped over on it. And then you also get this display stand for each one of your anchors, which is a nice little feature that if you're going to display this, you need a stand to put it on. And finally, you get the bottoms of the anchors. You can see how beefy the plastic is on this. We've got our attachment points, and even the small attachment point right here. I guess that's to help drag the anchor. And you've just seen the entire plastic kit. And finally, we have the instructions. And you guys know I love to show you the instructions, to show you what you're in for when you're going to build a plastic model kit. And you're seeing everything on it right there. It's all on just one page, so pretty easy to put together, I would imagine. And I think the best thing that's going to come out of this kit is weathering. I mean, think about this. This is something that sits in salt water, so it's going to be corroded, and I know they clean things off and stuff, and it's not in the water all the time. But this gives you the great ability with your artistic representation of this, how beat up and worn and weathered, rusty, whatever you want to do on it, and really go to town. I think that's a great test bed. That would be the reason I'd want to build it. I'd want to build it up. Obviously, the kit's simple, and then we could really practice our weathering skills on that and then show it off that way. So there you go. There's a quick look at the Battleship Yamato anchors. They will be out actually in about a month's time. and have a retail of under $30. I'm not 100% sure on the price yet, but I definitely know it's under $30. Next up, we have another unusual subject, and actually I think kind of a cool one because of the shapes on this particular thing, that if you didn't want to build this as the Sea Dart or Sea Wolf missile systems, you have kind of a cool thing for doing a lot of sci-fi stuff. And always in the back of my mind, I'm looking at parts. I have this big time project in the back of my head that I always want to do this massive sci-fi ship, and this has got a lot of possibilities for that. I probably will never get that ship done, but it's in the back of my mind, and that's the first thing I look at when I see these unusual parts is, wow, that could be really cool for doing this. Now, believe it or not, this is not a huge kit, but it has a lot of parts inside. So let me show you those right now. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into looking at the different sprues here. The reason I put a green cutting mat down is because the plastic's all gray on this particular kit, and my normal gray cutting mat kind of, I think, obscures some of the detail. So we won't take too long on each one of these sprues, but at least let you see all of them and see what kind of specialty kit bashing stuff you can come up with as well. Like, these are really cool for all kinds of stuff I'm looking at. Let's see, next up, we've got our sea sprue. And these are for the Sea Wolf. These are the boxes that those come out of. Next up, we have our B sprue, which has the Sea Dart missiles, and you actually get 2 of these sprues. Some slide molding on there as well. Very nice looking. Like I said, there's the second one of that. That's some of the shapes for the launcher. And we get the 2 base plates. Man, I'm digging these parts right here. I with the slide molding, I've already come up with a few ideas that I wouldn't mind seeing on one of these. And finally, we have our the Sea Wolf actual sprue. So you get 2 of these sprues right here. So you're going to get a total of 6 missiles, because this is the other side of the missile right here. Let you see close up on all of those. So you can see, it doesn't look very difficult, but there are a decent amount of parts in this kit. So now let's take a look at the instructions. Also, before we do that, there are decals and a fret of photo etch inside here as well. And now let's take a look at the instructions. And one thing I should point out, which I don't think I did at the beginning of this segment here, is that you do get both complete systems inside here. So you get the Sea Dart and the Sea Wolf missile systems. So quite a bit of stuff. And then we'll just kind of break down the instructions. Let you see how they go together. So obviously we're starting off with the Sea Dart. And I won't spend too much time on this right here. And then you've got the launch system for the Sea Wolf missiles. It's kind of cool that they actually give you the actual missile to put inside. I mean, technically you could just build the box, but if you wanted to do a diorama with the box opening and the missile coming out, you have that option. And even this right here, I could have sworn I've seen something almost identical on this in one of the last Star Wars movies. Something very similar to that with those missiles on top of it. And then finally, the final pieces you put on. And then just some of the color variations that you can choose. This is kind of cool with the kind of like the red oxide colored missiles. And there is a quick look at the Sea Dart and Sea Wolf missile systems from Takom in 1/35 scale. These kits will be out in about a month as well. And they, of course, will be available on our website, andyshhq.com. And these have a retail of $39.99. And next up, we have the kit that I am most excited about out of this group, and that is the 35th scale M60A1 with ERA and M9 bulldozer. Now, you guys may remember a few years ago, the M60A1 with ERA came out. I actually built that kit. Had a great time building it. It's a beautiful, beautiful kit. And then fairly recently, the M60 without the ERA came out, but had the bulldozer on it. So what they've done now is they've put all of this together, and because the original M60 with ERA is discontinued now, so you can't get that kit anymore. So in a way, they're reissuing it, but now with the bulldozer. So if you don't want to put the bulldozer on, you don't have to, obviously. It's at your option, but it looks really cool this way with all that stuff hanging all over this vehicle. I like it this way, and if I rebuild this kit, I would definitely put the bulldozer blade on there. I think that's got some options for weathering that would just really, really stick out on this. So we'll kind of buzz through the sprues rather quickly on this. I do have a build video on the M60A1, like I said, that if you want to watch how the entire thing goes together. It is from a few years ago, and you can just search back in the catalog videos and see that go together. And then we'll show you all of the sprues right now if you never got to see them before. And first up, the thing we're going to look at is the bathtub style hull that is included, and it is beautiful. Obviously slide molded with all of the detail already molded into it, and a nice texturing on the actual hull. And then after that, we will look at the upper part of the hull. This is one of the first things when I saw this kit first come out a while ago. That attracted it to me, just the beautiful detailing that they did on it. And remember, a lot of times, a lot of these kits are going out of production after a very short period of time. I know there's, especially from Takom, there's a lot of kits in their catalog that have been out of production now for a little while now. You go to reorder them, you go, oh wow, that thing's gone now. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about whether or not you want to get one of these. Next up, we have the monster turret on this thing. Such a beast of a turret. And then you add all that applique armor on, the ERA armor on it, builds it up even bigger yet. Now we're going to jump ahead. This is the newer part. This is the bulldozer blade that came out on that new kit that just came out actually this year. So this is all new. And you can see the detailing that they've put into here. Here is another sprue for the bulldozer blade. Lots of slide molding on this. You can see we've got some slide molding here, here, and here. So lots of detail on this particular sprue. Just like that. And this is back to the original older sprue. This is the fenders and some of the rear engine deck parts. Kind of just give you a quick look at these. And actually, I misspoke a minute ago, or actually I should say I spoke too soon, because I just found out that we are getting a limited run of the M60 with ERA by itself without the bulldozer. So I know I said on that right there, but it has been gone for a few years, but we are getting a small batch back when this kit actually arrives in the US within about a month. So we've got our wheel set here. And like I said, I won't spend too much time on this because we have a complete video of building all that. 2 sprues of that. This is the fun part, and I'll just point this out to you. This kit fits really well, but keep in mind there is a lot of little parts when you have to build up that ERA. So you've got all of these little attachment points, and then on the, you see here, we've got the blocks of ERA armor on it. I'm not going to deny it looks badass when you put all this stuff on it. And then you can do the what I did on mine was I did the camouflage pattern underneath the vehicle and then put the ERA in all in solid like desert tan. Looked really, really cool that way. And then we got some more parts here. Some slide molding, as you can see here. Some more little tiny parts. And also we have the gun. And you can see, nice, they did it in slide molding. And then you have the recuperator right here that goes on here in 2 halves. So very easy cleanup on this particular barrel, and just an all-around nice kit. Now we'll just take a quick look at the instructions. Almost forgot, before we take a look at the instructions, we've got some of the other accessory pieces. And so we've got some photo etch in here for the bustle rack, some tow cable wire made out of like a copper wire, and then we have our tracks, and they are rubber band tracks on this kit. And I know some people go, oh, rubber band tracks, but these are actually very nicely done. I remember even commenting back a few years ago when we built up the original kit. They're very, very thick and have nice dimension like a plastic track would have. And let's face it, the tracks are way, way easier to put together this way. And also, for the final link, they go together with an actual metal pin. So you're not trying to super glue them or hot melt them or anything else like that. They actually pin together. And I think they turned out really nice on the original kit we did. And finally, we also have our set of decals, which I won't bother even opening up. Okay, let's pull back a little bit because these instructions are rather large and kind of thick. Because you can imagine, there are a lot of parts we have to put together, so a lot of instructions. There's a quick breakdown of the parts. We won't go through that, but then I'll just show you individual pages of how it goes together. And remember, I do have a video on this kit from a while back that'll show you more detailed how it goes together. And we won't spend too much time up here. Mainly try to get to the back where the bulldozer blade is. How the tracks actually go on. We got our fenders. And here we go. Here's where we start to attach the bulldozer parts. You can see that there is quite a bit of detail, especially all the hydraulic line that goes underneath the tank, all the brackets that are on it, and then actually the blade itself and all the other little tiny accessories on there. And then you get to start putting all that ERA armor on. And that was a lot. There was a lot of work on that. I remember still thinking back after I got to that point where I had completed the kit basically. How hard could the ERA be? And it wasn't hard, but it was a lot more work too. So, but turns out beautiful when you're done with it. And attaching the bustle rack, the gun, more. And it's all of this stuff right here. Putting all those little brackets on the ERA is what was the most time consuming, as you can see right here too. And then finally dropping the turret on. So as you can imagine, pretty easy to go. And then we have all of the different paint markings. This is going to be a great Desert Storm vehicle. Let's face it. It was used quite a bit there, and I think most of the markings are for Desert Storm. Yeah, in fact, all 4 markings are for Desert Storm. So, ooh, this is a cool one right here, though. In the camouflage, kind of similar to what I did on the original one. So, this kit is also coming in the same batch of all the other Takom that'll be out very, very soon. We will have them up for pre-order, actually, as well, very soon as we actually get a confirmation on when we know they're going to arrive. Lots of delays in shipping worldwide right now. And it'll have a retail of about $50. Well, there you go, guys. There's a quick look at these 3 new great kits from Takom that are going to arrive soon. Also, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Right after I'm done with this video here, we've got a whole bunch of new series for the museum, which we open up some of these real vintage kits and show you some of the cool stuff that we found in this. So I've got a lot more of those videos due to come out very, very soon. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you as always for watching. And please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.